pretty well at that time.
Hi, Steve. Steph and I offer our heartiest congratulations on receiving the Lumberjack Pride Award. We can't recall a time in the last 50 years or 5 decades when we've come to SFA for a visit and you haven't been a part of it. Once again, congratulations, and you're a great emissary for SFA.
And I think the interesting thing for me was that Steve actually remained in Nacogdoches. All the rest of us graduated and moved to wherever we were going to move to. Steve actually stayed in Nacogdoches to make business happen for himself there. He married the love of his life, Catherine, and they raised their children there.
He has never stopped being a cheerleader for Stephen F. Austin for the past 40 years that I have known him. I cannot think of a person more deserving of the award than Steve Whitbeck.
Well, Steve is a guy that seems like he never meets a stranger. He gets to know everybody, and he's very multifaceted in terms of what he's done and what he does. You know, his business has been very successful up there in Nacogdoches, and he follows all the sporting events in the school, the Lady Jacks and the Lumberjacks, and we see him at the Battle of Piney Woods every year.
And in particular, you have been a really supporter of SFA athletics. In fact, we concluded that you're just about the biggest athletic supporter we know.
Everything I know about Steve, I can't talk to you about. I will tell you, though, it is absolutely not true that Steve was one of the early streakers back in the early 70s on campus. So just put that in your mind.
We planned a trip. There were 11 of us, alumni from Stephen F. Austin, who decided to go on a cruise to the Mediterranean. My wife and I were celebrating our 20th anniversary, so we look forward to that. And we all spent about a year getting ready for the trip. And of course, we went to the Mediterranean. We flew into Athens, Greece, spent a few days there, and we had all the Greek food, Greek music, the breaking of the plates. And then, unfortunately, they started pulling people from the audience, and Steve and I were pulled out and dressed as Greek dancers, and proceeded to be taught how to dance like Greeks and say "Opa." Well, I think most college people have a special fond memories of their town and where they went to school, and great memories and great time in their life. And I always felt like Steve got to extend that a little bit by staying in Nacogdoches and staying close with not only the school but our fraternity and a lot of the people we knew up there.
I just want to say that I appreciate Steve's friendship over these last several decades. I appreciate his support for the university and for our fraternity. I know that everyone is proud of Steve, who is so deserving of this award, but most especially his fraternity brothers.
And I know Steve has stayed there, has always been a strong supporter of the school and the community. I know he stayed there since he graduated. So I think it's a wonderful honor for Steve.
Mr. Steve Whitbeck.
Okay. Who has the lumberjack socks on? I'm probably the only one. I had a lot of things to say tonight, and I don't know what a damn one were now. When I met Bill Murphy, I was only 5. And as far as the streaking goes, I was not the first. I was around number 5. Anyway, that's my past. I can't tell you all of it. But I'm very honored by this. Thank you, Alumni Association, alumni staff, alumni board. This is awesome. I want to thank I got so many fraternity brothers and family here tonight. I'm not going to name names because I'll forget some. But I thank you all. But I do have to thank my wife, Dr. Catherine Whitbeck. Okay, I said it in a public audience. Do I have to call you that at home anymore? But anyway, I appreciate this award. I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate all my friends and fraternity brothers and family coming. Thank you.
first of all, Cole is an incredible leader in our community, and he has demonstrated not only through his business, but also through his family, that he is a leader and one who cares about the community well-being.
So I met Cole around 2013, and he actually came by my office to meet me about joining the local SFA Alumni Chapter in Longview.
I kind of see Cole as like a young man with an old man's soul, you know? He's sort of, you just don't see people like him anymore. He was raised with incredible manners and integrity and compassion. And you just see all those amazing qualities in a person, in this very young person. And I've seen that really ever since he graduated from college.
When he enrolled at SFA, I mean, he immediately became involved in student activities, and Student Foundation was one of the activities that he became a member of. I knew as soon as he became a member, I knew he was going to be very involved in the organization, and eventually he became executive director.
He just was fortunate enough to be born to a lumberjack family, that's the only school that he was able to go to under our guidance, and of course suggest him to go there at an early age. From the time he was 10 on, he worked every alumni golf tournament and everything that we had events for, and so his blood is purple as the rest of us. And he's done a great job carrying on the family tradition and making SFA a better place.
Cole literally bleeds purple, and is such a shining star in Longview and really everywhere that he goes. And through his work with Tomberlane Insurance Agency and volunteering and his leadership and of course SFA Pride, he really has done such a great job of following in his family's footsteps and their incredible legacy and tradition that they have.
He's participated in World of Wonders, WOW Children's Museum, has done a great job in raising funds and helping them to build up that incredible civic organization. But also, he's been a part of our ministry, the House of Disciples, and has been helping us to raise support in the community, to build a detox center, and also to help to bring guys out of addiction to drugs and alcohol, help homeless men back up on their feet. He's just been one who's poured back into the community and has demonstrated true leadership.
My son was graduating from college a couple of years ago, and you know, he wanted to learn a little bit about our industry, and so I said, well, you really probably should mentor with an agent and kind of get to understand our business. And so when I thought about who that might be, of course I thought about the Tomberlanes because of Cole. I thought, well, he's the closest to a young agent that I can think of, that I really believe in the family and their business, and so I reached out to them and asked them if they would do that, and it ended up being the most incredible experience, not only professionally for my son, but personally. He fell in love with the family. He fell in love with Cole. He began to understand what a person can do to contribute in their neighborhood, in the people around them, and that was the first time he'd ever seen that. He did plenty of business relationships and people to mentor and coach him in other ways, but for somebody to show him what you can do in a community and how you can be impactful, and at such a young age, that just blew him away.
Cole, I'm truly sorry I can't be here to see you receive this most deserving award. You're such an awesome guy, and you're so deserving, and congratulations.
Well, I just think, like I said, the Tomberlane family is very appreciative, and we're very humbled that he's received this Young Distinguished Alumni Award. It's a very important part of our life and what we believe in, and we're just glad he's carrying on the family tradition as well.
Mr. Cole Tomberlane.
Wow. This is just absolutely incredible, and I've got to tell you, you know, everyone says the hardest people to impress are those that are closest to you, and as I look around this room this evening, there are so many people here that I see as close friends or extensions of our family. You know, it makes this award that much special, that much more special to receive, you know, and I'm just absolutely blown away. But first and foremost, I want to thank my beautiful wife, my better half that makes me whole, my sweet wife, Kendall. You know, we all bleed purple, and we don't think twice about the things we do for SFA, and you know, we're all committed to the cause of making SFA one of the finest universities that there are in our great nation here. And I got to tell you, I'm married to a Baylor Bear. That's one of her few faults. And last weekend was one of the few times I couldn't convince her to wear purple at an SFA event for some reason. But 99% of the time she's right there with us wearing purple and working hard. And so I appreciate everything you do to help make our university great as well. Next, I want to thank my father, a 1998 recipient of this award. Got a little throwback there whenever he won it. And my amazing mother, you guys have instilled a love for SFA and my sister and I that it runs deep. We truly do bleed purple. And, you know, I have so many fond memories here at SFA, even as a small child, playing football on the hill in the stadium and getting to meet Jeremiah Trotter and all these other, you know, larger-than-life legends to a little boy. So when it came time to choose a university, there was no doubt where it would be. I don't have time to thank all the wonderful people that touched my life and all the people in my SFA family that contributed to me being here, but I do want to be sure to mention special thanks to Melanie Crocker and Carlos De Hoyos and our dear friend Sam Cary, who nominated me for this award. Sam lost his brother last week, and I gotta tell you, I called to check on him, and the very first words out of his mouth was, "I'll be at the banquet." You know, and I'd like to think that while he's dealing with this tragedy in his family, he chose to be here with our SFA family, our Lumberjack family, that shower him with love and let him know how much we care about him and his family. Sam, I appreciate you being here tonight, and we love you, man. Like so many people at SFA, during my time here, I forged relationships that are lifelong and will never be broken. And we have so many great memories in our short time here. And, you know, this table over here is who helped make most of those with me. And, you know, I was often asked when I was at school, when did you sleep? You know, because I'd be at the horse ranch at 5 a.m. and then I'd work there until I'd go to class, and then at noon I'd go to my job in the Student Foundation office working for the Alumni Association, and I'd get out of there in time to get the $2 specials at Frogs and then go shut down Shack and do it all again. You know, and unfortunately the nonstop going all the time is a habit I haven't broken yet. But, you know, we're all given just one life, and I think that we owe it to ourselves to live life to the fullest and treat each day as if it was our last. And so I want to leave everybody with just a quote from Og Mandino that helps me keep pushing forward every day and keep trying to achieve new heights. And Og said this, he said, "I will live each day as if it is my last. I will waste not a moment mourning yesterday's misfortunes, yesterday's mistakes, and yesterday's aches of the hearts. For why throw good after bad? I will live this day as if it was my last. This day is all that I have, and these hours are now my eternity. I greet sunrise with cries of joy as a prisoner reprieved from death. I lift mine arms with thanks for this priceless gift of a new day, and so too I beat upon my heart with gratitude as I consider all who greeted yesterday's sunrise, who are no longer with us today. I'm indeed a fortunate man, and today's hours are but a bonus, undeserved. Why have I been allowed to live this extra day when others far better than I have departed? Is it that they have accomplished their goal and I am yet to achieve mine? Or is this an opportunity for me to become the man that I know I can be? Thank you so much for this award, and Axum Jacks."
Mike went to work for us in 1984. We had 3 stores at that time. He was an undergraduate student at SFA, and he was majoring in accounting, and we hired him as a part-time credit person.
Well, it's hard to believe that Mike and I have known each other for 37 years. We met each other in Nacogdoches at Stephen F. Austin in September of 1982. And I'll tell you, it feels like yesterday that we were running around campus with the Sigma Chi fraternity. And while we haven't done a great job of keeping in touch with each other, I can tell you I ran into Mike at the airport a few years ago, and it was just like old times.
I met Mike in 2010 when I was working with the Dean of the Nelson Ritchie College of Business in the formation of an executive advisory board for the college. And the whole intent behind the creation of this board is to bring together an experienced, very accomplished group of alumni to help provide meaningful feedback for our students, to help better prepare them for their first job out of college, to help provide funds for the college in a fundraising capacity, and then to help us build relationships with strategic partners in business and industry.
I met Mike at a quail hunt in South Texas about 12 years ago. We were both down there as guests of a mutual business associate.
So yeah, I met Mike Calvert in mid-2008, and I met him just after they had acquired, KKR that is, acquired the chain of Dollar General. And he and I met inside of a store in Northern California. And it was just really to meet and walk around and get to know each other a little bit. And what I enjoyed about that was that I could really tell he was a store guy. He really enjoyed being inside of a retail operation, and that's a little different than I had expected.
So I think people are what make Stephen F. Austin the great university it is today. And I had the unique opportunity to meet a bunch of incredible people during my time at Stephen F. Austin, whether it was in the fraternity, whether it was as orientation assistant, whether it was running around campus. And I think if you were to ask me 5 years after I graduated or today, my answer is who deserves this award the most would still be the same. It would be Mike Calvert.
And I would tell you that when you think about Mike Calvert, people is usually first, and it still is, as chairman of our board today here at Dollar General. He thinks about the people first. While financial metrics are very important and everything that comes with that success, people matter the most. And here at Dollar General, we value our culture at a very, very high level, and we cultivate that, and Mike encourages that each and every day here.
Mike is a man of tremendous character who places great value on his family and stands firm in his personal values. Like Mike, Brookshire Grocery Company believes in and relies on our core values to identify who we are and what we stand for. Mike is devoted to his wonderful wife, Barbara, and their 3 outstanding sons.
He's a good judge of people. He likes people. He likes helping people achieve, and that's a wonderful trait. So,
Mike is a highly respected business leader with a reputation as a man of honesty and integrity that is well deserved.
He's incredibly accomplished in his career. He is a known commodity and well respected among private equity firms across the country. He has reached so many different levels of success in business. He is exactly what you want, what a university would want in a distinguished alumnus. And aside from that, he has given his time by coming to campus and visiting with students. He shared his talents and his wisdom with them on the different attributes that made him successful. And he shared his funds, his resources he has given to the university. So he's everything you want in an alumnus. And we're so proud of him. I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to meet him, and so grateful for the opportunity to have gotten to work with him.
Mike, I just want to say congratulations on your award. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate our friendship over the years, not only our working relationship, but our friendship. And I just want to say that I can't think of anybody more deserving of this award than you. And so congratulations. I know that your family's very proud. I'm very proud to call you a friend, and congratulations again.
Congratulations, Mike, on this well-earned honor.
Congratulations, Mike, and I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to Barbara. It's been a long time since I've seen her. I'm fiercely proud of you. Stay in touch, brother.
Mr. Michael Patrick. Wow. So you want to see a grown man cry. I'm not much for surprises, and I haven't seen that video, so that was very, very special. Thank you all so much. I'm so honored to be selected for this award. I'm so honored to be back in Nacogdoches. Let me start by just thanking a few people. First off, Dr. Scott Gordon, thank you for showing up before you're actually on the payroll to be here tonight, and good luck to you as you start your career here. Dr. Timothy Binspain, thank you for inviting me back to campus the few times that I've made it back. Trey Turner, thank you for agreeing to never surprise me again in the future. And Sam Moore, she does everything here, so thank you for making this happen. I'd also just like to thank a few guests who've traveled to be here with us tonight. I'd like to specifically thank my father, Bob Calvert, who's up front here. Like most boys growing up, my father was my hero. Bless you. He laid my foundation in a very quiet, steady way, never pushy. In addition to being a wonderful father and a role model, my father sowed the seeds of my love for business when I thought I wanted to be a musician. My father is a man of integrity. He was the first one to tell me it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a second to destroy it. My mother passed away this past November. She would have been so proud to be here tonight. I know she's here in spirit. My brother Craig is here. Craig, thank you for blazing the trail to Stephen F. Austin. And if Craig tells you any stories at the bar tonight, they are not true, I promise. It's so nice to be back in Nacogdoches, where it all started for Barbara and I 38 years ago. I've had the privilege of returning to campus a few times, teach a few classes, participate in a few panel discussions. And these trips have had a very big and weird impact on me. I think we just get so busy in life that we rarely make time to stop and reflect on where we've been and how we got to where we are today. Tonight, obviously, is another one of those moments for me. So I've had the privilege of traveling around the world. I've done $30 billion in transactions all over the US, the UK, France, Netherlands, Spain, India, China, Australia, and Japan, and of course, in Texas. And when I think about this journey, it's clear that the foundation was laid during my time in Nacogdoches. So a lot happened to me in Nacogdoches, but we're only going to talk about three things. Three very important things, all of which happened on Highway 59. I was blessed to find my true passion in business at Stephen F. Austin. I was blessed to work with my first mentor, Bill Elliott. And most importantly, I was blessed to meet my wife of 33 years, Barbara, here at Stephen F. Austin. So I started, as I mentioned, my college career studying music. And it wasn't until I took my first accounting class here at Stephen F. Austin that I found my true passion. I had wonderful professors in accounting who sparked this passion. Sharon Graves, Sammy Smith, just to name a couple. Accounting is the language of business, and my passion for everything business was sparked in 1981 at Stephen F. Austin. To this day, I don't understand why everybody doesn't love accounting. I received a dual degree at Stephen F. Austin. I received a bachelor's of business with an emphasis in accounting and a master's in real business world from Bill Elliott. In the fall of 1981, I applied for an accounting job at Elliott Electric Supply, you got it, on Highway 59. That started a 3-year working relationship with one of the smartest and most generous men that I've encountered in all of my professional life. Bill took interest in me, was patient with me, always had time for the many questions I had to ask. Bill took me to Rotary Club in this room, where I met other business leaders from Nacogdoches. Bill became a mentor to me in business and in life. I've tried to emulate in my career what I saw in Bill: deep intellectual curiosity, genuine care for others, integrity, and hard work. It was one of the most difficult professional decisions to leave Elliott Electric in pursuit of a career in public accounting. And lastly, I met my wife 38 years ago at Diamond Shamrock on Highway 59. We were both 19 years old. Sorry, Bill, but Barbara has to be the best thing that happened to me in Nacogdoches. We've been partners in all aspects of our lives together. We've raised 3 boys, we've moved around a few times, and now we find ourselves empty nesters. Barbara changed my life in so many ways beginning that fall of 1981. One of the many positive impacts she had on me was her global perspective, her desire to see the world, which ultimately changed my perspective. I had a very narrow view on the world, having only been out of Texas to visit my grandparents. I recall when we were planning our wedding, Barbara turned and asked me if I had thoughts on a honeymoon destination. I really stretched myself and said, "How about Hawaii?" She replied, "That's nice, but I have already planned a trip to London, Paris, Geneva, Lucerne, and Frankfurt," which was our honeymoon. True story. Barbara gave me the global bug. She stretched me beyond the limits of the state of Texas and is responsible for my desire to do business on a global stage. Bill, it's Barbara's fault that I left Nacogdoches. Soon after meeting Barbara, and I mean soon, like maybe a week, maybe 2, I met her parents, Jim and Elaine, at Holiday Inn on Highway 59. This was a double bonus. Jim had a lifelong passion for investing, Jim, her father. He gave me the investing bug at a very young age. I recall spending hours with him at the age of 20 talking about companies, stocks, general economic conditions, you name it. He was an avid reader and a true student of global affairs. And over the next 25 years, he became my mentor in investing and sowed the seeds for my move to KKR. I'm humbled when I return to the university and realize how impactful my time in Nacogdoches has been to both my professional life as well as my personal life. Stephen F. Austin never taught me there would be limitations to what I could do. I was an ordinary man from East Texas with Texas-sized ambition, and Stephen F. Austin played a big role in launching my professional journey. Dr. Gordon, what a privilege and responsibility this university has. Taking ordinary young men and women, sparking their passion, and preparing them to go out in the world with limitless opportunity to do extraordinary things. Let us never forget the impact that this university has on these young adults in their first 4 years of their adult lives away from home. Thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for your wonderful hospitality. But most importantly, thank you for the thousands of students you will do extraordinary things with in their lives. Axum Jacks.
I've known John Whitty for almost 60 years. We were fraternity brothers and roommates while in college at SFA, and we've just been good friends through all the decades since then.
Well, we were fraternity brothers at Stephen F. Austin. Probably the first time I ever met John was when he was selected to be a pledge in Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity. I think that would have been about the fall of 1961.
You know, he got his bachelor's and his master's at Stephen F. Austin, and then he went on to get a PhD while he was at the University of Houston.
I was 1 year ahead of him in college, but he actually stayed on longer and got a master's degree.
John has excelled at pretty much everything he's ever attempted. He's just one of those guys that he always seems to sort of float to the top.
Well, obviously his academic accomplishments. I mean, he's had some prestigious positions with Auburn in West Virginia and did a lot for both of the schools. And I can tell you, and I believe this with all my heart, both schools are better off because John was there.
John was involved in a lot of activities in college, and one in particular, 1 year he decided to run for cheerleader and won and became a cheerleader. This is a 1963 Stoneport yearbook. I suppose John would have been a junior that year. This is a picture of John's cheerleading group. That's John there. And here he is with his partner. And he was enthusiastic, and however, he was cartwheel challenged. Cartwheels are more like somersaults than cartwheels.
John Wheaton's been very active with the Pikes in the 60s. There were a union group of Pikes who attended SFA in the 60s and meet for 2 or 3 days a year. And we've done this for the past 19 years. John was one of the original contributors of the Pikes in the 60s Memorial Scholarship Fund, which supports SFA and honors our Pikes of the 60s brothers who have passed away.
John was not only a leader in personality, but he was also, I hate to give him credit, he was also at the head of the crowd when it came to intellect. He was really a smart guy. And I think he's lost a few IQ points through the years, but we'll find out later on tonight.
And I think all during this, all of his endeavors over these years, he's had the support of his wife, Jennifer, of 41 years, and their daughter, Anna. And he's just a good guy. And I've always considered it a privilege that not only is John a fraternity brother of mine, but he's also a very dear friend.
John, I know you're deserving of this, and your friends and your fraternity brothers are proud for you. I know Jennifer and your daughter are proud for you, and I know they had a lot of success for all of your accomplishments. And we say congratulations, and may God continue to bless you and your family, and Pi Phi, bro.
Dr. John Wheaty, please come forward.
First, I want to thank the SFA Alumni Association for this really humbling honor. I appreciate it very much. I'd also like to acknowledge my SFA fraternity brothers that are here, and also my 1960 Sunset High School from Dallas High School classmates are also here, and all of their spouses. Many of the spouses were SFA graduates, and actually there are 2 dream girls from our Pi Ka fraternity that are here, and I'm so happy to have y'all here to support me and share this night with Jennifer and I. And also, of course, Jennifer, she's gotten a lot of recognition here by these guys, and she's hung in there for these 41 years and has been indispensable, and I appreciate that very much. When I came to, there have been a lot of changes here since I came in the spring of 1961, 58 years ago. The town has grown. It was 12,600 when we came here, or when I came here in 1961. 33,000 now. There were only somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 students on campus. The tuition was $50 a semester. And you know what's happened since then. The social clubs on campus, the local social clubs, were just beginning to convert to national fraternities and sororities, and there were 4 sororities and 4 fraternities. And of course, as you know, I pledged Pi KA. And as I think back, and one other thing, and some of you younger folks will wonder how we got along. We didn't have computers, we didn't have iPads, we didn't have iPhones, and there was no social media. And so we somehow survived through all of that, and I'm not sure how now anyway. But when I think back, and I do often, about my experience here, I had a great experience here with during my years. I think of really 2 things. One is the fraternity experience, and the other are my professors and the impact that SFA had on directing me toward an academic career. You know, I've met lifelong friends through the fraternity experience. We call ourselves the Pikes of the 60s. Somebody alluded to the fact that we established a small scholarship for students, and we meet annually and have been doing so for the past 20 years. So we're a pretty tight group, and we have an awful lot of fun together. I received really a very solid education here that served me well throughout not only my continuing education, but my career. I think of the professors that I had, and it's not in your program this year, but it was there last year. They sometimes recognize a distinguished professor. And when I looked on there, 4 of those professors, I had 4 of those professors that were recognized as distinguished professors, a mathematician and 3 biologists. There is a lecture series that is named after one of those biologists, Archie MacDonald. And then the science building here now is named after Edwin Miller, who was the department head of biology and then the dean of science while I was here, and played a pivotal role in my future, actually. I forgot what I was going to say next. I lost my train of thought. I didn't know what I wanted to really major in or to be when I grew up, so to speak. And my roommate and I went over to the counselor's office to take an aptitude test to see what we might be suited for. And so we took the test, and we were individually called in to see our results. And so my roommate went in, and he came out, and he was satisfied. It was consistent with what he thought he wanted to be. And I went in, and the results were not quite so clear. He said, "Mr. Wheaty," he says, "I don't see anything on here you're suited for." Well, that didn't bother me somehow. But finally I got to be a junior, and I switched my major, or made my major into biology, and went on and took a lot of biology courses. I really liked it. And there was a relatively new professor here that I had in a couple of courses, a botany professor. And I was getting close to graduation, and he said, "Why don't you just stay here and work on your master's degree and work with me?" And I hadn't given graduate school any thought whatsoever. And so I was looking out, and all of my friends were graduating. They were getting jobs, making big bucks, driving new cars. And that was awfully attractive. But I took the graduate school option. I don't know why exactly, but I liked it. So I went ahead, and after a couple of years, I ran into Dean Miller. He said, "Well, Mr. Wheaty, what are you going to do when you graduate?" I said, "Well, I'll probably go get a job." He said, "Why don't you work on your PhD?" And it was late in the spring, and most of the assistantships had been given out everywhere and so on. And he said, "Come around to my office." So we went over. He made a phone call. When he hung up, he said, "You've got an assistantship to work on your PhD." So I did. I went ahead and got my PhD. And from then on, my career, that really was the pivotal actions by 2 professors that directed me into an academic career. And I've had a wonderful career. It's been absolutely enjoyable. And I'm not going to tell a lot of stories about. I could tell, just like I could tell stories about all these guys out here, but I wouldn't get out of here alive, I don't think. But the one of my first jobs was at a place called the Lunar Science Institute. And it was affiliated with NASA, the Johnson Spacecraft Center. And it was during the Apollo program, and they were bringing rocks and soil back, and I had a chance to work with some of that. And that institute was a place where scientists from all over the world came to study the lunar rocks and soil. And it was located on NASA Road 1 in a renovated mansion that was built by an eccentric oil millionaire, Silver Dollar Jim Smith. And to show you how important I was there, among all these scientists from all over the world, my office was in a bathroom that had been converted to an office. And that helped my prestige value there. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was great. And I went on and had a great career at Auburn University for 25 years, working with students, doing research. And then I went on and was fortunate to get a job as a vice president for research at West Virginia University, and president of the Research Corporation. And really, we had a great run there and built a research enterprise. And I started going from really being an academic researcher and teacher and so on, more toward the economic development area where we were talking about commercialization and technology transfer and that sort of thing. And so I stayed there for 9 years and then came back to Auburn, and each position sort of one built on the other. And going from a pure academic of teaching and research to more into economic development. And the point of all of this is that the entire career, well, and by the way, I found a profession that I was actually suited for, contrary to the results on my aptitude test. But anyway, the whole point of all of this is that my entire career started right here at SFA because two professors took an interest in me for reasons I have no idea. But it was wonderful, and I've enjoyed every minute. But I have to also acknowledge no one does it alone. And I have to acknowledge my students, my graduate students, my postdocs, my mentors along the way. That's when you put all that together and you can have a successful career, because it's not just you doing it yourself. Again, I want to thank the Alumni Association. Congratulations, Dr. Gordon. It's a pleasure meeting you. He and I have similar backgrounds in botany and mycology, and I look forward to having a great scientific discussion with you sometime. Thank you again for listening and for this award. I appreciate it very much.
What a night. Wouldn't you all agree? Let's give all of our winners a round of applause this evening. I'd like to thank my staff, especially Miss Samantha Moore over there at the wall, who's orchestrated all of this for us tonight. Sam, you did a great job. Thank you. And then also Mr. Trey Cartwright and Mr. James McMahon over here, who did all of our video shooting for us. We really appreciate their videos and their production of those. For those that are at the table, the flowers, you can take those with you home. If you haven't had a chance to come by and take a photo at our photo booth, please do so. We also have our axe throwing that will open back up. So at this time, we are going to have Mr. Ethan Ainsworth, a student at SFA. He's going to lead us in the singing of our school song. Our school song can be found on the back of your program. It's going to be in a little bit of a jazzier tune here for us this evening to kind of change it up. So Ethan, if you'll take it away. If everybody will please stand as we sing our school song together. And the words can be found on the back of your program. Great job, Ethan. Thank you very much. Thank you all again for coming tonight. We look forward to seeing you at the football game at Alumni Corner tomorrow as we take on Tarleton State. As always, Axe 'em Jacks.